Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Happy Healthy Whole. Today I want to talk about information security, so to speak. I want to talk about debit cards and credit cards and the use of them. Um, I know it probably sounds very elementary what I'm about to say, but in this day and age, don't hand over your card to anybody. I'm talking about like in drive-throughs or anywhere. Like if you can avoid having to hand your card over to somebody, do not hand your card over. I keep cash on me just in the off chance I want to go get me something to eat real quick and I want to go through a drive-through. I'm going to share this experience with you. I was going back and forth about like actually saying which restaurant it was and all of that, but I have decided to not mention the name of the restaurant or the place or the establishment, so to speak. Okay, so the day after Labor Day, which was September 3rd, I went through a drive-through. I really wanted some chicken, so I went through a drive-through and I didn't have any cash on me. Against my better judgment, guys, against my better judgment. Again, I have another video on this. Always go with your first mind. And my first mind had been told me a long time ago, don't go places where you have to hand your card over to somebody. I usually only use my debit card at like Kroger or at the gas pump. Oh, you got to watch out at the gas pumps too, because sometimes people will install card readers underneath the thing. So if you go to a gas pump and the console looks loose at all, it doesn't look like it's attached to the pump like it's supposed to be, do not insert your card in there, because that means that there's somebody that's put a reader in there and they can read your card information and steal your information and use it. Okay? Okay. Back to my original point. I usually keep cash on me just so I can buy food if I just want to go somewhere and get something quick. I don't ever hand my cards over. This one particular day, I hadn't been to the bank. It was the day after a holiday, and I was just like, I really got a taste for some chicken. Go through this drive-through, and wouldn't you know it, the one time that I do hand my card over, my debit card to somebody, somebody captures it. So they just took a picture of the back of my card and got all of my card information, my name, the 3-digit PIN, the card number, expiration date, everything that they need basically to use the card. So they decided to go have them a night out on the town at my expense. But I am an avid, I check my account pretty regularly. I don't get the alerts, like people get notifications every time their card is used and they can say yes or no, that's me. I probably should now that this has happened, but I usually don't get those notifications just because I don't hand my card over, one, and two, I usually keep cash on me anytime I would go somewhere that I would have to pay at a window or something. Okay, so somebody at this particular place captured my card, went out, had a good time. I saw it the next day. Okay, so that was the 3rd, so that would have been a Tuesday. They went out on Wednesday. I caught it on Thursday. So it was still processing when I called my bank and I said, hey, I haven't been to this place. They had went to this place, honey, I had never even heard of. I was like, and I'm gonna tell you the name of that establishment, but I won't tell you where I went. It was called Painting with a Twist. I had to go in and Google this place because I had never even heard of it. It is a place where you can go and paint and drink wine at the same time. So, whoever this was, they reserved a spot for themselves and a friend of theirs, and they apparently drank wine all night, or they just got the most expensive bottles of wine that was available there because the charges were pretty extensive for this to be the only vendor that they had went to. So when I called the bank, they were like, where do you keep your card? And I told them, I said, I keep my card in my wallet. I said, and I keep it in a locker, in a locked locker at work. I said, but anywhere else I am, I always keep my wallet on me. Then they was like, well, have you been anywhere where someone could have captured your card? The only place I had been was this other place because I don't hand over my card to anybody. And as soon as she said that, I knew exactly where it had happened. And the downside to that is a lot of people use their debit card, all the time. So in their minds, they probably wouldn't be able to really track it back to somebody, and I'm pretty sure that that's what the thief is really banking on. They're banking on the fact that you're not going to know where it happened or who took the card or where it may have been captured and stuff like that. But just so happens, just because I'm very particular about where I use my debit card like that, I knew exactly where it had happened. And I told her, I said, well, you see that charge below that? I said, that's where it happened, in the drive-thru at that place. And so she was like, okay, so I'm going to dispute the charge. And she went through all of the banking stuff, and she was like, I have to cancel that card. I said, that's fine. And I'll have to send you another debit card in the mail. It's going to come in this kind of envelope, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So please be mindful of these places that you are using your debit cards at and credit cards too. Because it can be a very tedious process. And by this happening when it happened on my rent check and everything, and it's my bank account. It was my debit card. So this came out of my bank account. It wasn't like it was a credit card where I can dispute it and I had time to wait on it and everything was everything. But this came out of my debit, my bank account. And it was literally like time for me to pay my rent when I saw that. And I was like, what the hell is painting with a twist? So I had to hurry up and Google that place and find out what they were about. And I found the location to it. I actually contacted them as well. And I'm not going to get into all of that, but I did contact that vendor. I did send them over information to show like their company name was on my bank account, and I didn't physically go there because I was trying to figure out, I wanted a name of the person. I also went back to that place where I went through the drive-thru too and spoke to the manager there, and I told them, I was like, I don't know if you have cameras over your drive-thru. I said, but someone captured my card here on this day during this time. This was the time that I was in your drive-thru. I had my receipt, everything. So I was like, hey, you might want to look out for that and see who's doing that. I was like, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person they did it to. And so, she said she was going to check into it. I never went back. And it was so funny because the things that I don't think of, this is why I have people around me that's smarter than me. I was talking to a friend of mine. I was telling a friend of mine about what had happened. And he was like, how you know she wasn't the one that did it? And he was like, it might have been the manager. Didn't even think for a minute that it could have been the manager. But guess what? Yeah, could have been the manager. So I called their corporate office after that. I called the corporate office to that establishment and had them to look further into it just in case it was the manager, because if it was the manager, she wasn't going to fire herself. But anyway, guys, that's it for this particular rant, so to speak. Be careful where you go with your debit cards. People can capture the information on them very, very easily. Be mindful at gas station pumps that seems to be loose. Don't insert your card in that one because it could be a card reader on it. And don't hand your cards over at drive-thrus. If you don't have the cash, that's my motto. That was even my motto before that day. I was just really stupid because I just really had to have the chicken that day. But anyway, if you don't have cash, try to stay away from drive-through windows or places, or go inside. That way you're actually seeing the person. You know what I'm saying? And you know what they're doing with your card when you have to hand it over. All right. I hope this helps someone. Have a good day.